are slowing down. We are meeting at the edge where healing and the spiritual realm overlap, where logic pauses and the body says, I remember. Welcome back, listeners, to this beautiful episode of Cosmic Confluence. I am your host, Sana, and our guest is Shari Leigh Roberts, a psychic medium, energy healer, and trauma survivor. She helps people move beyond just coping into living with power and truth. Her voice carries a tremor, an honest echo of what she has lived through, and that truth is her superpower, listeners. When she speaks, we lean in. So, Shari, thank you for being here. And this is such an honor to have you here once again with us. Huh? Well,
Thank you for having me to talk about my favorite topic.
same here, Shari. I'm really excited and up for this topic and the conversation. Um, and coincidentally, right now I'm sitting in India and in Bangalore, and it's actually raining and thundering. So I think such such a beautiful, you know, I don't know.
Thank
Okay, so Shari, let's start with the beginning. Like when did you first sense the spiritual realm not as out there, but as right here in daily life?
well, yeah, so that's when I was I came home from school one day to find my mother dead and my mother's brother all crying. It turned out that my grandmother had passed away.
Oh.
Well, I didn't understand when my mother told me that grandma had died. She told me, turned her back, and went on conversing with her brother. Well, something in me was terrified. I felt something, but I didn't know what. But I felt they were all crying, and my siblings were too. I didn't want to be alone. Okay, but understand was we walking into the funeral home, and I see my grandmother in a casket looking beautiful. And I wanted to talk with her. When up and her and I had always been close. The moment I went to touch her, my mother grabbed my hand and scolded me and told me to go sit down. For the next couple of hours, I watched people walk
mm,
by her, touch her, talk to her, yet I couldn't understand why she wouldn't talk back or wake up.
mm,
Then I like blacked out. I do not recall anything until that night when I was told by my mother to go to bed. Well, still being terrified, I didn't want to go. I wanted to be with everyone. I began crying. My mother came up to me angrily, I thought, and it slipped back to the bank when she ended up picking me up, hugging me, and walked me to my bedroom, put me in bed, and I asked why I didn't want to go to bed and why I was crying.
mm,
I said something to the back about grandma. I guess said grandma is here.
mm,
And she said, honey, grandma can't come back. But if she could, she would come back to tell you that she loves you. You would have nothing to be afraid of. Well, they was good news because my grandmother's superior
mm,
had been in our home since the time she had passed on. They was my first realization that there was more happening than a lot of people knew.
wow. Wow. Um, that must be, I mean, you were too young to kind of understand all the feelings in there. But
Yeah.
um, I had heard from my mother, and this is like 24 years back when my grandfather passed away in 2001. Um, and there was one specific encounter that my mother had just one day after he left the earthly abode, that she, in the morning, like around 5 a.m., when she woke up, my mother woke up, she saw grandfather sitting on the couch and, smiling and looking at her with love. Um, and probably my mother told me that, I couldn't go and visit my father in his last moments. So he visited me the last time just to bid goodbye. Uh, so this is really, really. Mhm.
Yes. Yes, then that begjordes det är something she nowhere you nowhere go family will be have her forward get and you know he is that he is and doing well. Jag kan get more comfort than that. That is the beautiful and touching.
Yes, it is. And Shari, thank you first of all for sharing um, those moments with us, the conversation, the dialogues, the feelings that you were going through at that time. And one question that comes to my mind is, whenever we talk about spiritual realm, now many of us think that it just means clouds and distance and stars and galaxies. You suggest it can be closer, like air on skin, or sometimes we have this, goosebumps or a sudden shift of energy. So if you can, explain for us what exactly is the spiritual realm and how different it is from what is, kind of portrayed in the popular culture.
Okay, you are absolutely correct
Mhm.
about it being way closer than people think. Now, what I have come to learn, the only thing that really separates our reality from this beautiful realm is they go of the source. So, yeah, is yeah, there is a forward us the real energy work and healing to be able to cross the real that veil. And I have the very least be able to communicate with the bigger right in that realm. Now, from the realm, here is regularly is the I'm after some training and you take it for and their brand to be able to generally touch a man or even energetically be aroused and this realm just I spoke of and you did loss well it is way is for them to come to us and then us to get connect with them. But your mom, I, and many other people are
Mm,
living proof that we all have the ability to communicate with their realm.
exactly. Exactly. I think this is a very, very crucial, really good point that you mentioned, Shai, that we do have the ability to communicate one particular aspect, because I have this is something very, very personal to me. It's one of my favorite topic to talk about as well, Shari, that um when we are um either physically or emotionally um uh, in a darker phase, or something is really, really bothering us internally, our energy is very low. And at that time, sometimes, even we are very susceptible to negative energies. Could be through a person, could be through anything. That will sometimes, kind of um, lure us to a quick fix or a quick solution. Um, so, as a medium, Shari, it can feel like standing in the rain, like without a coat, you are completely drenched. So, how do you set the boundaries so you are a channel, not a sponge?
Wow. Yeah, yeah, and now the and applying everything you just said
Mm,
about love, and radiating energy
mm,
does attract heavy negative energy. Now, a couple of things when we are in during trauma or the impact of the our energetic vibration is low. The colors and that there are times that they are negative energy do attach themselves to us. They can impact us unknowingly in a myriad of ways.
Mm,
What I do to help people really get rid of that is through energy healing. Yeah, first need to down to fact be sober for the energy they are they had which then allows superior and I to remove the negative energy. So it all goes back to healing. That is the key to getting rid of and no longer being a sponge. And the higher our energetic vibration goes, the
mm,
more resilience our exterior that they had to we build up to prevent their energy from coming back. Also, yeah, said this way. Negative energy is to vibrate a certain level. What is you go with the diet? They are type of energy can no longer find you know.
mm. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely right, Shari. Absolutely. And I have uh, and I have actually personally felt this. Uh, there are certain daily practices that can be done, maybe around your surroundings, in your daily rituals, like a prayer or taking a salt bath, or keeping your room clean, or sage or incense sticks. In India, we do in the morning, after taking bath and before having breakfast, in the evening, we kind of purify the house with incense sticks, and we call it diya. It's like a earthen lamp. So it
Yeah.
the, it actually it impacts your senses, and it raises your vibration. And I've really felt, and I've heard from people telling that you should do, because it raises your internal energy and also your surroundings also. So it acts like a shield, like a protective cover.
I absolutely love their daily practice. That is excellent, and everyone should adapt that or anything similar that speaks to them. And like you and your family or people in India are intentional with these rituals, and that is key. Be intentional. Give it the time it needs every day. Excellent advice.
Exactly. Exactly. And before we wrap up, Shari, um, if a client has 5 minutes a day, um, which single practice you would advise that gives the most return? Let's say gratitude or journaling or breathing, like anything that you would advise for everyone.
Yeah, I absolutely think if you have only 5 minutes, go to a quiet place. Sit down, lay down, and do some breath work. The key here is to clear your mind and
Mm,
clear your energetic field. There's a little thing which you can get free energy clearing meditation and YouTube and the internet just quickly do that. It centers you and allows you to proceed and being grounded and feeling balanced.
exactly. Exactly. Feeling balanced. And I think uh, before even we conclude, I think one particular aspect which I missed to touch upon here is, whenever people talk about spiritual realm or spirituality, now some would say here that if I can't see or I can't measure, it isn't real. So, how do you bridge that gap, that difference between spirit and science? Like when would be the time that, we have prayer in one hand and then, let's say a pulse oximeter in another hand, like the gap? Like, what's your thought on this?
Yes, interesting. I asked that. I had a friend who was coming out of this from a scientific perspective. And of course, I'm coming from a spiritual. Here is what see and I come color without a doubt through meditation and intentional work using our intuitive gifts. We can connect with spirit. Now, you may be someone who will see them like I do, or hear them, but you will feel them, and you may even receive channeled messages from them. Now, that to me is those are actionable items that we can conclusively say I felt my grandfather today. Or I don't know how I knew the answer. I just knew with that is the bigger right channeling information to you. Okay, but from a science point of view, they are really close, and some have even proven through the mathematical equations and astrophysics. They are other galaxies do have living beings, and those spirits no different than the divine realm where souls of forbidden go after passing from this realm. Okay. Now that I am clear on seeing, feeling, hearing them, no one's going to tell me there's nothing there. Enough of us. No, no. Just like with everything you have talked about today. We conclusively know the existed spiritual realm is real.
Yes. Yes, absolutely, Shari. Oh, and of course, if our listeners they would like to explore more into this, Shari, and they would like to connect with you, what will be the best way for them to do that?
Oh, just contact me on my website. There is the contact page. I would love to talk with any given one. that has interest in knowing more over teaching me more. We're just talking, we're healing. Please reach out and I will get back to you promptly.
Absolutely. So, listeners, I'll have the details in the show notes. So, do connect with Shari. Just refer to them along with this episode. And if I can conclude this, if this conversation has resonated with you, take a breath, drink some water, and check what you are feeling. And also follow Cosmic Confluence, leave us a quick review, and share this with someone who needs it. And Shari, as always, thank you so much for your honesty, your heart, and the way you turn lived experience into light. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, my pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you to all the listeners for tuning into this episode. Until then, I am Sana, and this is Cosmic Confluence, where the human and the spiritual meet. Take care. We'll see you next time. Thank you.